Welcome, welcome, everybody joining us from near and far on Zoom or Facebook or our YouTube channel, wherever you are connecting. From near and far. Oh, I have to. It's good to be in community, and so many of you joining us tonight. We're gonna get Jal to start.
Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai.
Shabbat Shalom, and welcome. Welcome to this moment. Welcome to this Kabbalat Shabbat. I don't know how your week has been. But it's good to be together. And it's good to be in community, and it's good to really take this evening and this Shabbat to let go of the whirlwind of the world and truly reconnect and find ourselves dwelling into the heart space, leaving the mind space and coming into the heart. Touching again the center of our being on this day, in this moment. The world can wait. It'll be still there in 24 hours. And we can step back right into the crazy race that awaits on the other side of Shabbat. But for now, there is an invitation. And that invitation is for us to let go. To let go of all the worries, all the concerns, all the ups and downs of the emotional roller coaster that this week has been. And to take a couple breaths. Actually, I really mean it. Take a couple breaths. And to find some grounding. To find a way to find roots again. To feel again on solid ground. Because beyond and beneath all of the turmoil and all of the noise of the world, there is a place. There is a place of calmness. There is a place of wholeness, of centeredness. If we just allow ourselves to go a little bit deeper, just beneath the surface. And to just dwell in the spaciousness of the heart. To reconnect with what matters, to reconnect with the truth of the oneness that is between us. Away from the screams of separation, of otherness, of sides to take. To know that all our breaths become one breath. That beneath all the noise is the oneness of silence. out of which all arises, into which all collapses, moment to moment. So tonight we create sacred space together. A place devoid of fear. A place devoid of control. A place empty of manipulation. All that is asked of us is to bring who we are to the moment, exactly as we are, in this sacred space, in this sacred time. On this Shabbat, as we step into this energy, into this sacred space, we are invited to share of our abundance. I'm going to put in our chat room here the link to a place where you can make a donation for your tzedakah. I'm going to put it right now on our Facebook page, and I'm putting it to everyone in the chat room. This month we changed our tzedakah recipient. We looked to care for those who sleep outside. Winter is here, and many of our neighbors are living without a roof. The pandemic has in fact seen those numbers grow even further than they were before the pandemic. Now, more than ever, we need to turn to those homeless neighbors of ours and lend a hand. And so this month of winter, we have designated an organization called Aurora Commons to be our recipient for your gifts. Aurora Commons is a space, a welcoming space for all those suffering from homelessness. And in this other sacred space, our unhoused neighbors can find rest, prepare a meal, and connect to the resources that they need. And at the same time, collectively create a community of support and care. So follow the link that I placed in the chat room here or on Facebook. It would lead you to our Bet Aleph donation page. And you want to click on the link that says Shabbat. And under that drop-down menu, you will find Type, T-Y-P-E. And that's where you want to click on Tzedakah. So type T-Y-P, Shabbat, Tzedakah. And thank you. Now the third step as we enter into Shabbat, after creating sacred space, sharing from the heart of our abundance and our gifts, we light our Shabbat candles. We turn to page 24 in your prayer book, if you have the opportunity to have printed one. And while we light our candles, we're going to invite Celia to sing Light a Candle at the bottom of the page.
לפעמים נדמה שאין תקווה והכל נראה כל כך אפל ולא ידוע הפרחים עוד לא פרחו בגן ובשדה ובערב רק מכת הרוח אז בואו ונדליק ביחד Light a candle with me. A thousand candles in the dark will open up our hearts. Light a candle with me. A thousand candles in the dark will open up our hearts. Sometimes it seems there is no comfort. The nights are long and hold no promise of tomorrow. But somewhere deep inside there burns a tiny flame. It can bring release to all our sorrows. So come together, each one bring your light. Light a candle with me. A thousand candles in the dark will open our hearts. Light a candle with me. A thousand candles in the dark will open up our hearts. Light all the candles, let's light the candles everywhere. Just look at me and take my hand. The heat of love will glow again. Light a candle with me. A thousand candles in the dark will open up our hearts. Light a candle with me. A thousand candles in the dark will open up our hearts. Light a candle with me. A thousand candles in the dark will open up our hearts. Light a candle with me. A thousand candles in the dark will open up our hearts.
Amen. I hope that gave you enough time to light your candles as I have right here behind me. There are a lot of you who have emailed the office this week to let us know what you would be lighting a candle for. So I'm going to share with you what our members, what our friends are lighting right here with us tonight. Linda Moldauer is lighting a candle tonight in memory of her mother, Sarah Gold. Sarah was an active member in Philadelphia's JCRC, which is the Jewish Community Relations Council. She fought for enforcement of separation of church and state. And she also was fundraising for Israel through supporting Israeli bonds. I remember those. Linda Morris is lighting her candles tonight in celebration of her 72nd trip around the sun. She continues to be thankful for her health, for her friends and family that helped her create a birthday and celebrate with her, and for her precious Bet Alef community that keeps her spiritually healthy. Amen. Sharon and Jean Leroy are lighting candles tonight in memory of Robert Joseph Smith, Sharon's father, on his yard site, and for Jean-René Eugène Leroy, Jean's father, on his yard site as well. They are also lighting in memory of their Newfoundland of 11 years, Phineas, who transitioned on October 22nd. He was a gentle giant and a loving soul. Shoshana MacDonald is lighting a candle tonight in celebration of her 76th birthday, she just celebrated it on November 2nd, on Monday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Linda as well. I forgot to say that. Elizabeth Heath is lighting her candles tonight in memory of her mother, Mary C. Heath, on her 21st yard site, and her aunt, Louise Dale, on her 7th yard site. Her mom lived to be 91, and Lou, I guess that's Louise, Lou was 94 when she passed. Good genes in your family, Elizabeth. Stu Heller is lighting his candles tonight to celebrate all who did not watch from the sidelines but made their voices heard by voting, and the many who worked to make that possible and still working on making that possible. It is the proof, Stu says, that democracy is definitely not a spectator sport. Amen. And Rabbi Olivier, yours truly, is lighting his candles today for a couple things. One, to mark the 25th yard site of Yitzhak Rabin, which was last Wednesday, and a day that was momentous in my life. And also another day that was momentous in my life, the 15th anniversary yesterday of my serving the Bet Alef members as first rabbinic intern and then rabbi in the past 11 years. It's been 15 years since I quit my day job. And it's been an amazing journey that I've been blessed to share with you. And now that you have kindled your candles, and though I haven't said out loud what you are lighting candles for on this Shabbat, I invite you to just reflect for a moment, perhaps of the blessings in your life that you wish to light a candle for, perhaps for what it is you are mourning, what it is you're celebrating, what it is that just is present for you right now, that is yearning for your blessing. The words are on page 1 in your prayer book. We cover our eyes as we seek to bless the light that is kindled on the outside, but is awakening on the inside. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. Amen. And we continue with Diana leading us in Hashkivenu. Diana, we can't hear you, so you might have to start again and unmute. Diana, you have to start again. Okay. Hi, Diana. Can you see me? You have to start again because you didn't unmute yourself. We love technology.
Okay. Sorry
There
about
you go.
that. You just lip read and it'll be fine.
Okay. We knew what you were singing. We're singing right with you.
Here we go. Help us, eternal our God, to lie down in peace and to awaken again to renewed life. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Let us realize the vision of your wholeness, that we may experience the salvation that is your name. Shelter us from all that we fear. Help us see your way even through times of darkness. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always, now and always, now and always. Blessed are you, eternal one, who shelters all of us within your being. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let there be love. Ve'hamidenu Malkeinu L'cha שלומך ותחננו בעצה טובה, בעצה טובה מלפניך. והושיענו, הושיענו, והושיענו, הושיענו, למען שמך. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let there be love. Let there be peace. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from all storms. Eternal God, help us walk with our companions to live with open hearts and eternity in our souls. Let there be love. Let us lie down in peace. Let us rise up to life and to light and to confidence. Let there be love. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let there be love.
We are on page 5, ready to share in the Baruch Hu, the call to blessing. When we are invited to bless, we are invited to open our heart to whatever is unfolding in our life just as it is. When we bless everything. We can't do partial blessing. We can't just pick and choose this blessing versus that blessing, or we can't take out of our heart the parts of our life that are in our mind unworthy to be blessed. That is not how it works. The words are Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. We have to be the participants. We are to be the voices, the consciousness through which the universe, who seeks to bless, can express. And as we step as that conduit for blessing, we have to take the ego out of the equation. If not, it's not blessing. In fact, it might be cursing. You know, as we prepared for this Shabbat, a couple weeks ago, we started to talk about it. We planned for 3 different Shabbat. Depending on the outcomes of what happened Tuesday. Was it going to be a joyful Shabbat? Was it going to be a mournful Shabbat? Or was it going to be a I don't know Shabbat? I think ultimately it became a little bit of all of it. Because if we want to bless, as we are invited to do right now, what is? And we have to take within the joy and the sorrow and just say Amen. Just welcome it all. And I think this Shabbat is a welcome it all Shabbat. And with that, I invite you to really open your heart to it all. The red and the blue, the light and the dark, the mourning and the rejoicing, wherever you are. And to know that that's life. And perhaps that's what makes it worth living. And to bless that. So join me. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Bless the Eternal, the one who is blessing. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Blessed is the Eternal, the one who is blessing eternally.
Yai die 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 die. Yai die 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 die. Yai die 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 die. Yai die 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 die. Yai die 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 die. Yai die 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 die. Yai die 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 die. Yai die 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 die. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
The words of the Shema are on page 6. Words that are also inviting us to know the oneness beyond the separation, to move beyond the ego seeing division, seeing enemies, seeing the other, and affirm that despite what the mind is telling us, it is all one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
In the middle of the page, on page 6, I often say, these words are extremely challenging. And when everything is well in our life, or when everything kind of follows its own natural course, we can come together and say the words of the Ve'ahavta as if it is just the most normal thing to chant together. But the Ve'ahavta, like the Baruch Hu, like the Shema, are radical affirmations. They invite us to love. The Ve'ahavta invites us to love. To love, as the translation has it in our prayer book, to love the Eternal One in all its manifestations. And I know that in times like this, in our life, in the life of our nation, it is so easy to reject. It is so easy to expel from our heart those who see the world differently. And it is exactly in a Shabbat like this that we meet these words and we see how radical spirituality is. Spirituality is not for the lighthearted. It demands of us so much. It requires of us to move beyond the attraction of hatred. And so this Shabbat, especially this Shabbat, I invite you to take stock of these words and see where they land for you. These most difficult words of the Ve'ahavta. And I'm going to share them in English tonight, so that we can really be with those words. Now you can love the Eternal One in all its manifestations, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your energy. Let these words connecting you to Source now. Let these words be always in your consciousness. Embody them for your children. Repeat them as a mantra when you sit in your house, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them, these words of love, bind them as a sign upon your hand, and let them be frontlets between your eyes. Let them direct your consciousness and your mind. Write them upon the doorposts of your house, so you might remember to enter into every space from a heart space, and upon your gates. Your gates are the thresholds in your life, the places of difficulty, to meet them with love, that you might become aware and engage in my spiritual practices and be bound in holiness to the one within. I am the Holy One, who manifests as all that is, who manifests as everyone, who manifests as you, the one who brought you forth from a place of enslavement, of constriction, of rejection, of othering, to be for you, God. I am the Holy One, who manifests as all that is. Amen. So a moment to connect on this Shabbat with this week's Torah portion. I love this week's Torah portion because it is so much about what we are going through. Isn't it always? But in this week's Torah portion, we encounter a place of great evil. Sodom and Gomorrah. In our story, God has heard the wickedness and sinfulness of the people of the two cities, and God is about to come down to wipe these cities from the face of the earth. But probably because Abraham's nephew Lot and his family lived in those twin cities, in an astonishing expression of openness, God shares his plan with Abraham, including him in the decision process, knowing full well that Abraham might argue against God's plan, which it turns out is exactly what happens. And Abraham finds himself forcefully arguing that God should not blindly destroy the cities, as there could be a few innocent people amongst all the wicked. And Abraham's plea on the surface level might appear to be on behalf of these few righteous people. But on a deeper level, it is not only a plea on behalf of God, but also on behalf of humanity as a whole. Now, the usual translation of Abraham's finger wagging at God he's translated, and I quote, "Heaven forbid, must not the judge of all the earth do justly?" But the Midrash, which is the homiletic Torah commentary, the Midrash translates Abraham's accusatory words more literally. The regular translation is a little bit of an interpretation, but the Midrash wants to read these words as they are written in Hebrew. חלילה לך, חלילה לך, השופט כל הארץ לא יעשה משפט. Heaven forbid, the judge of the whole earth shall not do justice. Now, this is a very interesting way to read this. It's like an accusation to God that God should not do justice. Why? Because the Midrash understands Abraham saying to God that if it is a world you want, God, if it is a world you want, then strict justice is impossible. And if it is strict justice that you want, then a world is impossible. Let me say that again. If it is a world you want, then strict justice is impossible. And if it is strict justice you want, then a world is impossible. According to the rabbis of the Midrash, Abraham seems to be arguing with God that a world of absolutes is not achievable in the dualistic relative plane of creation. That if absolute justice is what God intends for his world, then he will continue to destroy it time and time again. Because a degree of compassion, of loving kindness, of chesed in Hebrew, is what is needed in the relative plane in order to balance out strict justice, din or gevurah in Hebrew. And we need to balance out justice with chesed, din with chesed, justice with loving kindness, in order for a world to be sustainable. Now, how is this gorgeous teaching relating, as I said, to what is going on in our life right now? Engulfed in the absolutism of what we want, we would have no qualms seeing the destruction of the Sodom and Gomorrah states of the opposing color. We want justice, our justice. But the Midrash is clear. If it is strict justice you want, then a world is not possible. And if it is a world you want, then strict justice is not possible. The world in which we live here in the US of A is sharply divided. Sharply divided. And that's an understatement. It is divided into what seems to be two countries in one. 4 years ago, the inhabitants of the red country barely eked out a victory. This week, it seems that the inhabitant of the blue country will also barely eke out a victory. One could say that the electoral system is broken and doesn't represent the true majority, but even if it did, a couple million more voters in a country of 330 million people is not a sustainable majority. And what would it mean to have a narrow majority ruling over so many others? But now that this scenario has played itself twice in a row, I think it is time for us to stop blaming Russia and to be with what is. Because the truth is, we are two countries, and neither of them is going to be conquered or disappear anytime soon. We are stuck with one another. We are stuck with one another. And as long as we will continue to barricade ourselves behind the Sephirah of Din, of Gevurah, of strict justice, we will see no way through. And we will continue to sink deeper into a state of mutual incomprehension and loathing. And frankly, what would be our options if we remained stuck in that place? What would be our options? Secession? Separation? Civil war? The dream of a majority breakthrough? We know that the latter is unlikely. And I hope that we understand that the former is unthinkable. We have to learn to live and govern together if it's a world we want. We have no choice. We have no choice. We need to include a degree of chesed, of loving kindness, to balance out our need for din, for strict justice, which I too often hear, sometimes verging on vengeance. And we need to do that even if we think that the other side is neither interested nor willing. It makes no difference. It makes no difference if it is a world we want. The rabbis tell us that Sodom and Gomorrah's greatest sin was their self-centeredness, their inability to see the other person's perspective, their inability to share of themselves, of their abundance, of their consciousness. And despite Abraham's plea, they were ultimately destroyed. And the same fate awaits us if we fail to acknowledge the fears that exist in both our countries within our country, and to create a political agenda that works for everyone. Short of doing that, I am afraid that we will all not only remain the losers of every election, but we will also in time meet the destructive fate of Sodom and Gomorrah. There is a song that comes from Psalm that where God calls each of us to heal and console her people. Nachamu ami. Heal and console my people. And perhaps that is the invitation today, on this Shabbat, to get out of our bunkers, to get from behind our barricades, and even only in this space right now, to be a force for healing, you and me, all of us together, to hear the fear and the brokenheartedness of all who suffer, and to respond to God's call, that all together might nachamu ami, console God's people, all people. כן יהי רצון. אמן.
נחמו, נחמו, עמי יאמר אלוהיכם, נחמו, נחמו, עמי יאמר אלוהיכם, נחמו, נחמו, עמי יאמר אלוהיכם, נחמו, נחמו, עמי יאמר אלוהיכם. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, nachamu, Ami yomar Elohechem, nachamu, nachamu, Ami yomar Elohechem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Ami yomar Elohechem, nachamu, nachamu, Ami yomar Elohechem.
And staying with these energies, I just want to invite you to close your eyes and step into a few moments of silence in meditation. Just taking into our heart the words of the song. And with observing the breath, to feel into the healing that is possible in this moment, in this holy, in this sacred space, when we finally surrender into the love that is our birthright and our destination. We are the beings who speak worlds into creation out of the silence. We are the beings responsible to manifest the world we want to see. What are the words you want to embody? What are the words you want to most deeply be a channel for? Perhaps one of these words is shalom. And let this word, spoken or chanted, reverberates beyond the spaces we inhabit right now, beyond the walls around us, into the communities that surround us, throughout the state in which we dwell, throughout the nation in so much need of shalom, throughout the world, that it might find all the bodies and the hearts so much in need of healing today. That he might find the bodies and the hearts of those you have inscribed on our healing list. Craig Wilson, Danielle Clark, Hillary Wilson, Phyllis Levin and Mike Levin, Farhan Hassan, Yitzhak Leib, Ben Berta ve'Aharon, Dave Malkoff, Maxwell Bernard, Susanna Davis, David Mark, Rebecca Risman, Richard Aaron Ben Chaim, Margaret Bergman Ness, Elizabeth Heath, Martine Yanni, Chris Mochel Werner, Shelly Cohen, David Shalloway, Marisa LeCabe, Pauline Morris, Reed Parcell, Mark Montefusco, Matt Bankhauser, Katie Cordes, David Shalloway, Lee Shalloway, Megan El Sayed, Jalal Jalain. And we call in our hearts the names of those we know to be in need of healing on this Shabbat. ימלא רחמים עליהם, לחזקם ולרפאותם, רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף. And we share with all those we know or don't know to be in need of healing a song on page 24. Refael, heal us, Holy One.
רפאנו מקור רחמים ונרפא, הושיענו וניוושע, כי תהילתנו אתה. When we call for help, save us when we're in need. Source of compassion, blessing and grace, we humbly seek your embrace. רפאנו מקור רחמים ונרפא, הושיענו וניוושע, כי תהילתנו אתה. When we call for help, save us when we're in need. Source of compassion, blessing and grace, we humbly seek your embrace. רפאנו מקור רחמים ונרפא, הושיענו וניוושע, כי תהילתנו אתה.
And before we share together in the Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 13 in your prayer book, we take a moment to open our hearts, to open our minds to all the memories we carry within us of all those who have journeyed with us on this plane of existence and are continuing their journey beyond. At a time of memory, we seek to open our hearts to energies of compassion, energies of understanding, energies of forgiveness, ultimately energies of love. On this Shabbat, we hold in light of memory those who have made their transition in recent days and weeks. Danielle Jason Matyuk, a student of Kelly Whitlock's spouse. Jerry Crouch, a friend of Susan Austin's. And about 20,000 Americans dead from the coronavirus since our last Shabbat. And we will say Kaddish for all of them as well. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory the names of those who have made their transition in the past year. Martin Amadeus Rassert, Don Krupkin, Pamela Mary Bulch, Emma Norton, John Philip Bulch, Teddy Freeman, Virginia Calvo, Marsha Jaffe, Lawton Wapples, Millard Petersky, Deborah Batts, Marianne Marika Gordon, Stella Altwies, Mary Rose, Dan Klein, Eleanor Gerber, Charlotte Klein, Alberta Hitzroth, Avram Ben Moshe Veshendel, Marlene Klein, Mary Squeeze, Team Schott, Janine Gilbert, Imogene Williams. Eldon Olson, Don Worms, Emily Swartz, Dr. Carol Stanley, Robert White, David Haidt Miller, Dr. Agnes Schuler, Dr. Desho Schuler. On the Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, happens at this time of the year. Robert Joseph Smith, Molly Bloom Halpern, Holly B. Rothschild, Mary C. Heath, Sarah Gold, Gertrude Stroll Bloch, Jean-René Eugène Leroy, Nathaniel Wittenberg, Corinne Wittenberg, Ray Parman, Jeannie Nelson, Louise Dale, Becky Ben, and Yitzhak Rabin. And we name in our hearts the names of those we invite into our mourner's Kaddish on this Shabbat. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, be'alma divera chiruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'veyomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv ve'imru amen. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתהלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, Ve'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world. And let us say, Amen. And as we are about to conclude with our Kiddush and our Motzi, I'd like to remind you and invite you to our Beit Midrash tomorrow morning at 10:30 for our second session on the Guide of the Perplexed by Moses Maimonides. If you missed last session, you haven't missed much because the first session was just an introduction, so we will deep dive into the text starting tomorrow morning. It's at 10:30. The link was on our email newsletter this week. It is also on our website, and all are welcome to join us. Whether you have the book or not, you can join and then get the book later. So let's grab our Kiddush cup, wherever you have yours, and a bottle of wine or juice. I have, for the anniversary, my 15th anniversary, I actually have one last bottle of the wine that I was gifted at my ordination. I don't know if you can see that. See, it's got my name on it. So in honor of my 15th anniversary, I will drink from this wine. Hopefully it has aged as well as I have. Hopefully better. I'm going to ask everyone to unmute so we can say the Kiddush together. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'afel. Amen. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabat b'mosho ve'ahavato inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh b'reshit uyom techila למקראי זכר ליציאת מצרים בנו בחרת אנו קידשת מכל העמים שבת קודשך אהבה הנחלנו ברוך אתה מקדש It is still good after all these years. Go figure. Now, if you have a challah, grab your challah. Also, because of my anniversary, this is the challah cover that I was gifted for my ordination, and I still use it. But if you don't have a challah, just search through the screen my challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Shabbat shalom. It's so good to have everybody here. Thank you for joining us on this gorgeous Shabbat. We're going to close tonight with another healing song. We felt that would be a good theme for tonight. It's on page 33. It's simply called The Healing Song, but I have to mute everybody, and Celia will have to unmute herself again so she can sing and we can hear her beautiful voice. Healing Song on page 33.
From deep within the home of my soul, now let the healing begin. From deep within the home of my soul, now let the healing begin.
Heal our country. Open all hearts. Awaken all minds. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Jelly, nice to see you.
Beautiful,
Ah.
beautiful music tonight.
And Rabbi, blessings on your anniversary.
Like everybody. Dan?